So I can imagine that somebody listening to this might say, well, how do you know that you're just not fatigued then? Maybe you're just
Mhm.
working too hard and trying to do too much in a day. What's the difference?
That's a great question, and to be honest, I don't know if physicians could answer that very well, let alone patients. But the way that I've used as an analogy is when I'm incredibly sleepy, I'm sitting. If I'm on the couch, I don't want to get up, but I can get up. When I'm incredibly fatigued, I don't want to get up, and physically I can't get up. My body weighs more than it feels like. It feels like gravity is increasing over me. Um, Also, my response to physical activity changes. Instead of, when I'm fatigued, if I do, a moderate workout, everything is harder. And that's another nuanced difference between PWNs and PWIH. PWNs can respond well to exercise, whereas PWIH have that post exertional malaise that can linger for a while afterwards, depends on the individual. But the fatigue to me is a physical sensation. And it's, and it, an exhaustion, whereas for me sleepiness is slightly nuanced in terms of like I can push through, I can get up. So some slight differences, but again it's tricky. And I would say that it presents, patients will present saying that they're fatigued, and sometimes they mean that they're sleepy. And that's why it's so important to have really good follow up from your physician to say, let's talk more about that. Are you actually sleepy? Let's look at some of the different, validated tools to measure some of that. Um, but it also, it's not impossible that you have, a condition that's triggering fatigue in addition to something that's triggering your sleep disorder as well. So, hormonal sex hormones in particular can be, you know, have demonstrative impacts on your fatigue level. And so having that continuing ongoing conversation, just because you get a sleep disorder doesn't mean that everything's related to that sleep disorder ad infinitum. It's important that you have those good dialogue with your physician.
Yeah.